What's something very professional today? We don't have Matt use the shirt.
Say we're good to start. Cool.
All right, can we get a call to order, please? Cool. I guess I'll do it myself.
Oh.
Do I need a motion, right? Or can I just call it myself?
No.
No, you just called to order.
Okay, cool. All right, can I get a motion for the approval of the minutes? All right, motion by Holly, second by Fabiana. All right, any objection? Cool. Yeah, we. Now onto the regular agenda. Do you have anything to speak on that?
Yes, I do. All right. So for students' assembly agenda, pretty usual agenda here. We have the call to order. I will say preface that formatting is just weird on Teams, so this will look fine when it gets sent officially. So we have our call to order, approval of the minutes. We have a guest speaker this time. Christina Haswood is coming to speak to us, and so that'll be a 20-minute guest speaker and Q&A there. Officer reports that are currently added are president, VP, grad president, chief of staff, and treasurer. Let me know if anyone else needs an officer report. Currently, I have 34 and 35 here in the consent agenda. And the remainder of the bills, I put Jayhawk Aero Design here first so that student order can get funding approved early. The period program is next. I put Bill 32 here, and then Senate Bill 30 is last, just due to like the length of the legislation. Wanted to make sure it was like at like the later portion of the meeting there.
It's 20, 23, and 32. That bill did not pass finance.
31 is what you're thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
32 is the StudEx one. Maybe, I think, yeah, that might be a miss on both of our parts. It was the naming there.
okay.
Yeah, so that's the StudEx bill that just creates like the new system that we had
So
last
that one
one.
didn't go through finance.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And then for Senate Bill 36, we do have to have a discussion on timeliness because it was brought through committee of the whole in finance and needs StudEx to approve it as like the second council there. So, yeah.
For that bill 36, is this for the new student organization that was recently created?
Khalsa?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so it is timely because the event that they need the money for is at the beginning of December, and so if we don't approve them, then they can't do this event. Basically, because it's an event in Colombia where it's kind of like Dia de los Muertos, kind of like Day of Dead, but they light candles and kind of like have a vigil, and it's on a specific day, and so if we don't fund them, then they can't do the event.
I'll motion to approve this legislation as time sensitive then.
Yeah.
Second.
Second from Cam then. Well, that's your job here.
Yeah. I was just letting you get speaking. Okay.
Yeah.
Any objection? Great. Cool. Well, then that will be in order. Cool.
All right, so
I was gonna ask, can I have just a quick officer report in there?
for sure.
Okay.
All right, so I'll just go ahead and de-highlight this because we got settled.
Need to vote on that too.
Huh?
Need to vote on that too, right? No, we can just add it.
We can just add it and
Then
then
approve the full
amend.
minutes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm just gonna put it as that for now and then. Anyone else need an officer report for this cycle? Cool beans. All right, then I'd say we're probably ready to vote on that agenda there.
So what about Senate Bill? What's the deal with 032?
032. So that is like 32. I accidentally put the name of the other legislation on that one.
Good.
So yeah, 31 is the reformatting of like senators, 32 specifically just the amendment that sort of like puts this other amendment from last cycle into a more effective place of our constitution.
So we just need to change the title.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm just going ahead and keeping the number there because that is the accurate number, but the title's not there currently.
Motion to approve this agenda.
Second by Abdullah. All right, any objections? Cool. Agenda is approved.
And let's see, can I bring up some like pertinent business, I guess, in terms of like fee review?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I just had a question. Did we elect 4 representatives from finance last cycle, or did we elect like 2?
We like to form.
We elected 4 and they were like all the undergrad representatives?
Yes.
So under the current constitution, don't we have it stipulated that 2 of them need to be grads?
Yes, but the bill that is coming through that Sadie and I wrote, the elections we held were conducted under the assumption that this bill would sail through peacefully. So I mean, if it doesn't, then we can just go back and have the elections.
Yeah. Well, I guess like what I'm saying is like currently for like those elections, I think we're just going to have to go with like the top 2 candidates now. And then like finance might have to like revote on those positions because technically they weren't able to.
Well, the elections we held were provisions, that was the understanding.
Okay, so that was the understanding. So like the understanding if this legislation does not pass then is that the top 2 candidates will be members of the fee review committee then.
I'm not worried about that. Yes.
Not worried about that, yes. Just making sure because like if the legislation didn't pass, that would be something we need to prepare for.
Yeah, when I gave my spiel ahead of the elections, I was like, we're operating under the assumption there will be 4 seats. However, this legislation hasn't necessarily been modified yet, but it seemed wildly inefficient to me in order to elect 2 seats and then go back. It's like, okay, guys, surprise.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, yeah, so we should be able to affirm those elections if passes and then work with what happens if not for that. And then that brings up a question, Holly. So you have like grad appointments to make to fee that get confirmed by the Students' Assembly under this legislation. Would you have like names to appoint by like this next assembly?
By Wednesday,
Yeah,
I could, yes.
okay. So
They're not senators though, the people I'm not,
it doesn't have
Bill
to be.
doesn't say that they have.
no, I know, but they probably aren't gonna be senators just because. One of our senators is about to graduate, one just quit. We have 2 more that only just joined the Senate, so.
Okay,
I got one
And-
more coming for you too.
Who?
I forgot the name.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's in the
Um,
replacement senator app. So.
I guess like my question here too then, so like if we wanted to have this like run as efficiently as possible, so we can get like all of our representatives to fee then acclimated during that Students' Assembly. Should we then just go ahead and add to the agenda provisionally that if that legislation passes, we can have like Sadie sign it in that session and then go forward with electing those representatives?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll motion that.
Second.
Second, perfect.
Camden, second.
All right, and so I'll just add that. Do we have any qualms with adding that to like the top of the regular agenda?
What's the again?
Confirming graduate representative, or actually, nope, this can't be added to the top. This would be like confirming grad representatives if like Senate Bill 30 passes. Yeah. Just to make sure we have it on the agenda and people aren't suddenly surprised. All right. And I think we should be solid there, so. Any objection to amending the agenda as it is now?
Nah, it's just me.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we put motion to vote again.
Well, no, if no one objects, then the amendment I'd say would pass.
No one's objecting.
All right.
Advisors regarding the snow day. If it does happen, if it doesn't. Could we-
I doubt it'll happen, but I mean, is there?
Could you like, Sarah or Madison, could you also give us guidance? Since snow is coming in this week, what is like the assembly if it does like cancel school on Wednesday, would we also cancel assembly?
Yeah.
Yeah, you typed that.
Yeah,
But
It's only supposed to snow today.
if that were to, if campus is closed, nothing, no, all meetings,
okay,
so that would be.
Alright. Perfect. Thank you for that. And if it does get canceled, the students' assembly meeting, does anyone like have a preference for like what date would get selected for a special session to address this legislation?
Not on a weekend.
Huh?
I mean. Is this, it would be like an online meeting? I feel like you're gonna shoot when you try to have it first, right? What's the availability of all this gonna be, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll have to assess that at the time.
Yeah.
Say Monday, 4 p.m. Because that's like when we have StudEx, so I guess like at least we know that we would be available.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it would. All the senators might not be available.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
we would,
Well, that's the thing about a special session. Like at the end of the day, anything could happen for attendance.
Why don't we hold it online?
yeah, we should just do it online.
You think?
Do we need to have cycle 7? Could we not just have cycle 6 go to cycle 7?
We could, but then we would put all of those bills onto cycle 7, which is already usually a heavy cycle, since a lot of like the last semester ledge gets put in there.
That it's time.
Like,
But wouldn't that make more sense rather than trying to put it on a day where less voices can be heard, even if we can be here, like, I'm not every graduate student, like.
well, I suppose it depends on like the scale of importance you put out to like the legislation, because I would say like more critically, like passing or failing like Senate Bill 30, I think like needs to happen quicker,
Yeah,
so that we can like understand like what our fee situation is going to be
For
like a
sure.
lot earlier. So if at all else, like why we need to hold a special session, I would say probably 30, and then we could maybe like kick all of the other bills down the line.
and the consent agenda.
And the consent agenda, yeah, that could work.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to assess like what StudEx's like comfortability was for that, so I could see like what y'all were thinking in regards to that,
But
and
it is only supposed to snow from 7 to 9 till 5 AM tomorrow.
We'll be fine.
So
It's this,
so far, that's what
yeah,
Apple's telling me.
Well, we don't know. Kansas is.
I can't even snow in New Hampshire.
alright, those are all the items that I wanted to address.
cool.
Or like
Okay,
in 2015.
I don't have anything. Any announcements?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Cool, any opposition? This is adjourned.
Yeah, I'll just do that.
Okay.
Okay, so.
And then one more.